So this is a video to help you with the homework that you have gotten with absolute values. Let us get started with the example number 1. Absolute value of n plus 2 is less than 2. And you may remember from the class or from previous years, absolute value means that the expression inside the absolute values n plus 2 is less than 2 units away from 0. So I've drawn it here for you. Okay, this is a little distraction, but we can get back on track. We have 0 here on the number line, and the expression n plus 2 can be 2 units away from 0. So it can be less than 2, just like it's written here in your original problem, but it can be also here. It can be between -2 and +2. So that's what we have to write down. -2 is less than n plus 2, and that's less than 2. This is how we rewrite this problem, and then it's our turn to solve it. How? We want to have n only in the middle. We do inverse operation by subtracting 2 from each side. Just remember, we have 3 terms this time. So we have to subtract -2 from all 3. -2 minus 2 is -4. It's less than. Here it cancels and we only get n. That's our goal, actually. And then we have 2 minus 2, 0. So if we were going to graph the answer for n, we would have -4, 0. And we know that this is an AND statement. AND statement. It's going to be between these two endpoints. Our question is it going to be a full circle or a full circle? And because the 2 here is not part of the solution, or -4 is not part of solution, 0 is either, it's going to stay empty. So you'll see that the n values are all the values between -4 and 0. That's exactly what we got. If you want to check, you can pick any number just to give you an idea if you are not completely off track. You can pick any number, let's say -2, that is on the interval you have selected, and then plug it back in. Absolute value of -2 plus 2. Okay, I have replaced n by -2. -2 plus 2. And this absolute value has to be less than 2. So inside we have -2 plus 2, which is 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0, and that is less than 2. So this seems like we are right on track, and this makes sense. This is important thing. Next, let's do problem number 2. I told you we will want to have absolute value by itself. How do we do that? By inverse operation. Instead of adding, we will be subtracting, and we end up with absolute value of x is greater or equal to 5. Now, is this AND or statement? If the absolute value, and let me do it now green, if the absolute value is greater than a number, in this case it's 5. I will label it just randomly here. It's not in proportion, I know that. So if the absolute value, it means distance from 0 is greater than 5, we will be going away in both directions, remember. Okay, so what does it tell me? This is an OR statement, and we have to write it as 2 different inequalities. So either x, and I just copy this ignoring the absolute value symbol, x is greater or equal to 5, or, and now I copy it again, but I will flip the sign. It's going to be less than or equal to, and then put negative instead of this positive, -5. Now again, I end up with 2 inequalities, and I have to solve them. These are actually solved. So this is my answer. This was easy. If I was to graph it, I would. And I know -5 is further left. then 5. And I know that both these endpoints are parts of the answer. And the answers are going to be all the x that is less or equal to minus 5 will be here. And the other part, x, or x is greater or equal to 5. So again, this is an example of OR statement. Let me jump to 7, help you with that, and I think we should be fine. Again, we want only absolute value on that side. Let me subtract 3 from both sides. Then we get 2 absolute values of 9 plus n is less than or equal to -4. And now I should have a big red warning in front of me. What do we do? What do we do? Absolute value. Now I hope you know what I'm talking about. Absolute value can never be negative. So this expression has no solution. No solution. Okay. Next one. Problem number 8. Again, we will try to get rid of all the other terms. We will be adding 7 to both sides. Then we get 10. Let me make it a little slimmer. Absolute value of n plus 6. We got rid of 7 and is greater than 80. We can divide now. Absolute value of n plus 6 is greater than, we are dividing by 10, so it's 8. And now the question is this an AND statement or statement? And because the distance has to be greater than a number, it means we will be going to two opposite directions. It's an OR statement. And we have to rewrite this as n plus 6 is greater than 8. We copy exactly this problem, just ignoring the absolute value symbols. Or, and now we will copy the left side without the absolute value, n plus 6, and now flipping less than -8. And you have to solve these two problems. Here it would be -6 minus 6, which would give me, let me continue here, n is greater than 2. Here we subtracting 6 again, and we get n is less than -14. So again, this should work. It is an OR statement, so we will have two intervals and two endpoints, -14 and 2. And the values that this is true for are, there's no equal, so there's an empty circle on both ends, and we will be going in these two directions. I hope this helped, and I will see you in class. Please make sure you're prepared for your quiz. See you.